Good morning, folks. This is Deb. Dave and I did our stream last night, and I'm going to be putting up a couple of videos today, between today and tomorrow, actually, on YouTube because they're too long for inclusion on TikTok. So I just want to put that out there. But this video kind of came up from me just scrolling around Facebook over the last 48 hours because I am seeing so many stupid things that I can't even believe it. This whole Chuck Schumer thing has taken on a life of its own, and it's totally defocused the American people, and in particular the Democratic Party voters, from the real battle that it's alarming to me. Okay? Listen to me. Yes, Bernie Sanders and AOC are out there on the road on the Fight the Oligarchy tour. And what they are telling you is we need to build a better Democratic Party. They're not telling you to abandon the Democrats. They're not telling you to replace Chuck Schumer. They're not telling you to expend your energy spending time trying to replace Chuck Schumer the same way the Republicans made fools of themselves and replaced Kevin McCarthy over the very same issue. I remember people attacking the GOP for that. And now the people out there in the Democratic Party want to repeat that stupid move. Okay? Let me explain something to you. And I have said this before in several videos. I am about as far left of center as you can get, but I truly believe had the government been shut down, the GOP would have had no impetus to come to the table and reopen it. Because what they actually want is a clear path to continue to decimate every department and every service that the people benefit by. So understand this. I was not in favor of a government shutdown as a show of force from the Democrats. And I love AOC and I love Jasmine Crockett, but I am not tied at the hip to every position every politician takes. So that's number one. Number two, neither Bernie Sanders nor AOC are telling you to not vote in the next election. I am seeing women out there saying, I'm never voting Democrat again. I'd rather not vote at all. Well, let me give you a little tip about how we got here. There was a landslide in the November 2024 election, and the landslide was for did not vote. 90 million Americans thought that the election process was too much of a shit show. What the fuck do you think this is right now? This is a fascist takeover of the American government. We now have literally got GOP legislators calling for the dismantling of the judicial process in this country. Maybe you're not paying enough attention to the real battle here. That's the problem. The problem isn't the battle to rebuild the Democratic Party in the middle of a fascist takeover. Because one thing I am absolutely sure of, had Kamala Harris been elected, none of this would be happening. You would all be sitting at home, nice and calm, knowing that your Social Security checks were coming, knowing that you had a job when you woke up in the morning, knowing that your food stamps were not going to be gone, knowing that you weren't going to find your neighbors and your friends and your family deported or put in a camp somewhere. Okay? None of this would be happening. There's one party that respects decency, democracy, and the rule of law. And that is the Democratic Party, as imperfect as it is. But until we get out of this mess, we should not be focusing on fucking rebuilding the Democrats in the middle of this by removing the leader of the Senate for the minority party. And let me remind you again, the Democrats are the minority party, and that was courtesy of the voters of the United States. They didn't ask for that. We gave them that. We gave them that. Now, I am suggesting to you that the danger right now is coming from the fascist party. Okay? That is the GOP. The GOP are full of fascists. It cannot be denied. The ones who aren't totally fascist are totally cowards who will not buck Donald Trump. And now we have big law firms being extorted by the President of the United States, and at least one of them has caved into him. Once this fall starts, the Democrats have nothing to use to fight against him. We have said this from the beginning. The Democrats are not the party in power right now. They have no legislative leverage except to stop bills and block them when they get to the Senate. And they have done that. They have done that. But honestly, Donald Trump is not ruling through the legislature. He is by and large using Elon Musk, a man who is outside of the government, in an operation that is a sham. Okay? That's a con man's game to dismantle departments, all right? He's governing by executive order. He is bypassing the legislature, which means that the bills that the Democrats can block, they are blocking. But if it doesn't come through the legislature and it can't be blocked, the power has to rest with the people. And the power also has to rest with our legal system. We have Democratic governors and attorneys general suing Donald Trump left and right and winning in court. And I can assure you, had the government shut down, the courts would have shut down. And they would not have been reopened because Donald Trump is pissed off royally at the courts and is trying to talk to people about impeaching judges who rule against him. Elon Musk is in Wisconsin bribing voters with $100 bills to speak out against activist judges. That should be illegal. That is illegal. And by the way, any voter who would sell out his fellow man and his country for $100, while Elon Musk gets about $8 million a day from the federal government to run his business, is a piece of shit. Let's be honest about it. Let's be clear about it. Anybody who believes that a billionaire, the richest man on the planet, is doing what he's doing across this country because he's found waste and fraud is a special kind of stupid as well. He is not working for the American people. He is working to line his own pockets and to benefit Donald Trump's billionaires boys club. That would be his entire cabinet. Wake up. And when I see women saying they're not going to vote for the Democrats in the next election, let me tell you something. It really makes it hard for me to put my faith in women standing for each other because Donald Trump has just about screwed us all over about as much as he can, but he's not done yet. Right now, he's just busy screwing over some other people, but he'll be back for the women later. Wake up, okay? 90 million Americans didn't bother to vote in November. That's why we're here. That was the landslide in this election. It's inexcusable. And if you're not going to vote, don't come on social media and whine. You got no business whining against anything. I'll talk to you all later.